Welcome back to FDVN channel. In today's video, we will introduce a new English lesson about legal writing standards. First, let's come to the part about date. In American English, the month is placed before the day, and a comma is often placed after the day. For example, February 1st, 2024. In British English, a common way to write a date is day, month, year. For example, February 1st, 2024, not February 1st or 3rd day of March. Second, numbers. The general rule is that all numbers 10 and below should be spelled and numbers 11 and above should be put in numerals. There are certain exceptions to this. If numbers recur through the text or are being used for calculations, then numerals should be used. If the number is approximate, e.g. around 600 years ago, it should be spelled out. Very large numbers should generally be expressed without using rows of zeros where possible. In contracts, the use of both words and numbers is common to ensure and increase certainty. For example, 3,500 euros. Percentages may be spelled out or written as numbers, for example, 20%. Numbers that begin sentences should be spelled out. When referring to sums of money, the following rules apply. When writing numerical sums, the currency sign goes before the sum. Note that there is no gap between the sign and the figure that follows it, for example $100. When spelling out numbers, the name of the currency is put after the number, e.g. £100. The percentage sign, percent symbol, appears after the number to which it relates, and there is no gap between the sign and the number, e.g. 95%, for example 95%. In English writing, the decimal point is represented by a dot symbol, and commas are used to break up long numbers. Commas cannot be used to represent a decimal point. Therefore, the number 10,553 3/4 is written like this in English, 10,533.75. We come next to the third part as citations. There are some principles in citations which are, statutes should be written without a comma between the name of the statute and the year it was enacted. For example, the Treaty of Amsterdam 1999. The word "the" should not form part of the name of a statute. Therefore, one should write the Single European Act 1986 and not the Single European Act 1986. When referring to a section of a statute, write section in full using a lowercase s, unless starting a sentence. For example, Section 2 of the Law of Property, Miscellaneous Provisions, Act 1989. When referring to a particular subsection of a statute, do not use the word subsection. Use the word section followed by the relevant number and letter, for example, Section 722(1) of the Companies Act 1985. The names of cases should be written in italics and the word versus should appear as v. For example, Donahue v. Stevenson. In U.S. case citations, a dot symbol generally appears after v. The next part is terminology and linguistic peculiarities. We would want to introduce the terms of art first. Legal English, in common with many other professional languages, employs a great deal of terminology that has a technical meaning and is not generally familiar to the layperson. These are sometimes referred to by lawyers as terms of art. Examples include waiver, restraint of trade, restrictive covenant, promissory estoppel. You could see the glossary of legal terminology for more information. Secondly, the foreign terminology. In addition, a number of Latin and French words and phrases, such as inter alia, mutatis mutandis, ad hoc, and force majeure, are in regular use in legal English. While these should not be overused, a number of them are regarded as indispensable by lawyers because they express a legal idea much more succinctly than could be achieved in English. For example, the phrase inter alia is sometimes rendered in English as including but not limited to. For example, alias, alibi, per se, versus, ad hoc, affidavit, bona fide, caveat, de facto, de jure, thirdly, doublets and triplets. There is a curious historical tendency in legal English to string together 2 or 3 words to convey what is usually a single legal concept. These are often called doublets or triplets. Some of the most common of these are listed below: doublets, pair of synonyms or near synonyms in verb form. Able and willing equals able, agree and covenant equals agree, all and sundry equals all, authorize and direct equals authorize and empower equals authorize or direct, cancelled and set aside equals cancelled, custom and usage equals custom, deem and consider equals deem, do and perform equals perform, due and owing equals owing, keep and maintain equals maintain, known and described as equals known as, perform and discharge equals perform or discharge, repair and make good equals repair. Pairs of synonymous/near synonymous adjectives, deemed and considered, due and payable, effective and valid, fit and suitable, final and conclusive, full and complete, known and described as, null and void, sole and exclusive, true and correct, pair of synonyms or near synonyms in prepositional form, by and between, by and under, by and with, for nd during the term of, from and after, of and concerning, over and above, save and except, under and subject to, with regard to and in connection. With adverb synonyms/near synonyms, entirely and completely, willfully and knowingly, triplets, cancel, annul, and set aside equals cancel, communicate, indicate or suggest equals communicate, dispute. Controversy or claim equals dispute, give, devise and bequeath equals give, hold, possess, and enjoy equals hold, pay, satisfy, and discharge equals pay, possession, custody, and control equals possession or custody or control, promise, agree, and covenant equals promise or agree, repair, uphold and maintain equals repair or uphold or maintain, way, shape or form equals way, sell, assign or transfer, here dash, there and where, words like hereof, thereof, and whereof, and further derivatives ending in, at, in, after. Before, with, by, above, on, upon, etc., are not often used in ordinary English. They are still sometimes used in legal English, primarily as a way of avoiding the repetition of names of things in the document. Here is a list of some of these words and the way in which they are used. Here, words, hereafter means from now on or at some time in the future. For example, the contract is effective hereafter, hereby means, by this means, as a result of this. For example, the parties hereby declare, herefrom means, from this place or point. For example, the goods shall be collected herefrom, herein means, in this document or matter. For example, the terms referred to herein, herewith means, with this letter or document. For example, I enclose herewith the plan. There, words, thereafter means, after that time. For example, the products shall be transported to the Grange. Thereafter, they shall be stored in a warehouse. Therein means, in that place, document or respect. For example, the parties shall refer to the contract dated May 1, 1999. It is agreed therein that, therein after means, later referred to in that matter or document. For example, therein after, it is agreed that, thereof means, of the thing just mentioned. For example, reference is made in paragraph 5 to the contract dated May 1, 1999. The parties thereof agreed that, thereon means, on or following from the thing just mentioned. For example, the agreement was signed, and the parties acted thereon. Where, words, whereby means, by which.
Reimagined.
For example, the contract dated May 1, 1999, whereby the company agreed to purchase the products. Wherein means, 1, in which, or 2, in which place or respect. For example, the contract dated May 1, 1999, wherein it is stated that, whereof means, of what or of which. For example, the company one of the directors whereof is a foreign national, hence, whence and thence. Hence can be understood in one of two meanings depending on the context. For this reason, from now on. Whence can be understood in one of four meanings depending on the context: from what place or source, from which or from where, to the place from which. As a consequence of which, thence can be understood in one of two meanings depending on the context: from a place or source previously mentioned, as a consequence, or, and, de names. Legal English contains a large number of names and titles, such as employer and employee, in which the reciprocal and adversarial nature of the relationship is indicated by the use of the suffixes / or and ee. These suffixes are derived from Latin. In the example given here, the employer is the person who employs the employee. Therefore, employee is used by employer. Here are some further examples. Assignor is a party who assigns, transfers, something to another party. Assignee is the party to whom something is assigned. Donor is a party who donates something to another party. Donee is the party to whom something is donated. Interviewer is a person who is interviewing someone. Interviewee is a person who is being interviewed by the interviewer. Lessor is a party who grants a lease over a property. He or she is therefore the landlord. Lessee is the party to whom a lease over a property is granted. He or she is therefore the tenant. The final part is abbreviations. Here is a list of some common abbreviations and their usages. AGM equals Annual General Meeting, aka equals also known as John Smith aka King of Style. AM equals Ante-Meridium, before noon. AOB equals any other business, often used in meeting agendas. CC equals carbon copy, used to show that a copy of a letter has also been sent to another person or persons. CEO equals Chief Executive Officer. CGT equals Capital Gains Tax. CF equals Compare, D, with. CIF equals Cost, Insurance. Freight Contract. COD equals Cash on Delivery. EC equals European Communities. EG equals Exempli Grazia, for example, ENC equals Enclosed, etc. equals etc. EU equals European Union. FBI equals Federal Bureau of Investigation. FOB equals Free on Board Contract. GATT equals General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. GBH equals Grievous Bodily Harm. GM equals Genetically Modified. GmbH equals German Business Vehicle equivalent to the Common Law Limited Company, Limited.
Artlist.io